Gentleman yields. The gentleman from Ohio is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. You know, throughout this debate, my Democratic colleagues have repeated misinformation and engaged in fear-mongering as a tactic to convince American families to submit to their green agenda and just accept more expensive and less reliable energy as the new normal, to undermine our economy, to make the cost of living even higher, and perhaps even more troubling, severely undermine our national security. Apparently, my Democratic colleagues are okay with making China great again at the expense of the American people and the rest of the world. I heard the ranking member of Energy and Commerce, my colleague again, who I have great respect for, say a few minutes ago, tell the American people the truth. Well, let's tell the American people some truth. According to a report by the Lending Club, at the end of 2022, that's 2 years into the Biden administration, 9.3 million more United States consumers were living paycheck to paycheck compared to the prior year. Of that group, 75% identified inflation as a reason for their financial situation to be worsening. By the end of 2022, China's oil refining capacity exceeded the United States oil refining capacity. According to the International Energy Agency's oil market report, U.S. refining capacity is at 17.6 million barrels per day. According to the China Petroleum and Chemical Industry Association, China's capacity is at 18.4 million barrels per day. We are far more dependent on China today for the very rare earth minerals and critical minerals that are needed to pursue the renewable green energy plan that the Democrats are trying to push. You can't get there in the time frame that they're trying to get there, Mr. Chairman, without becoming more dependent on China. And there are those who say that Republicans are climate deniers. That is simply not true. We simply believe that Republicans have better ideas to unleash America's energy, to restore America's energy independence, and at the same time that those are good energy policies, they're also good climate policies. Let me give you an example. Everybody says that the goal of addressing the climate problem is to reduce carbon emissions. Mr. Chairman, if that is truly the goal, why do we not want to export more American natural gas around the world? According to the American Exploration and Production Council, if we would simply export 4 times the amount of natural gas that we're exporting today, and we could do that easily because we've got a wealth of it, we could lower carbon emissions more than if we were to electrify every vehicle in America, put a solar panel and a battery backup on the home and the rooftop of every residential home in America, and build 57,000 industrial-strength windmills. All combined, American natural gas is the cleanest form of natural gas on the planet. Our friends and allies in Europe, boy, they sure wish they had some of that today because they become dependent on Vladimir Putin for their sources of energy. Look at the Germans who decided to throttle their nuclear suite, become dependent on Russia for their energy. What did they end up doing? Forest clearing, burning wood, to cook their food and heat their homes. Folks, we do not want to go the way of Europe. They've already tried all of this. And look, I want to implore to my Democratic colleagues, we are not arguing about the goal. We agree with cleaner forms of energy. What we're arguing about, it appears to me, is the time frame in which to accomplish that and the amount of money and the change in the quality of life that it's going to require for the American people. I'm sure many of you went to college, and when you went to college, you studied the business triangle: time, cost, and quality. You can't affect one of those without affecting the other two. And with this rush to green, if we want to do this so fast before renewable forms of energy are mature enough technologically to be able to provide the grid, the base load energy for our grid, to put fuel in our automobiles. If we want to do it that fast, it's going to cost a hell of a lot of money, and it's going to change for the worse the quality of life for the American people. H.R. 1 is a common sense energy package. If you lower energy costs, you're going to lower inflation. If you lower inflation, you're going to allow the American people to keep more of their hard-earned money. When Americans keep more of their hard-earned money, they come up with good ideas. Our economy begins to thrive. Mr. Chairman, H.R. 1 is not about politics. It's about the American people. They're sick and tired of people inside the Beltway taking and taking and taking, and they're always having to do the giving. I urge my colleagues on both sides of the aisle, support H.R. 1. It's the right thing to do